Hi everyone, today I would like to represent Kazakhstan and what's happening during the COVID-19 pandemic, which greatly impacted the country's economy as well as its society. Kazakhstan has just over 18 million people, and of that we have 4,300 confirmed cases, a really tiny number of 30 death cases, plus 1,300 recovered cases. It's really nothing if you put it in perspective and compare it to other countries proportionally or just by numbers itself. Now, this number, however, comes at a cost. The cost which is paid by the country's people. It's one thing that the government doesn't support any of those businesses that must be shut during the lockdown, but they put a less than $100 monthly support to the ones unemployed, which is jack shit. I mean, yes, Kazakhstan is a poor country. It's easy to live, but not that easy. When I lived in Kazakhstan, the rental place was only 400. So I don't know what kind of place you gotta live, what kind of food you gotta eat, but 80 bucks is not gonna make the cut for sure. The interesting thing that this is the ninth largest country in the world with number of borders with China, the epidemic of this pandemic. Yet they were able to keep these numbers low. Now, I gotta be skeptical here with the media, with the statistical data, because as a person who lived over a year in Kazakhstan, I became the evidence by the accusation, falsification, making things up just to sound better, and the list could go on. So you really gotta ask the question, are these numbers real? Because if you're asking me, yeah, not sure. But I'm not drawing my personal experience into this video, even though the theme is to show the people who live over there, and as a person who used to live there, I think I do have the right. But nevertheless, I would like to guys show what's up. As my friends discussed this issue just a day ago, I could guys tell you that here in West Europe, we are privileged. We pretty much have no lockdown, no regulation, no virus whatsoever compared to the people living in Kazakhstan. Over there, your radius is 1 kilometer, meaning that you are only allowed to leave your home in a kilometer radius. And because in those countries you have so many little shops, so many stores, that you cannot justify that, yeah, I'm just going for essential travel, shopping, medical necessities and so on. But that's one thing. You are not allowed to walk your dog. You are not allowed to go outside to do exercise. You are not allowed to meet your friends. Social distancing, however, 1.5 meters opposed to the 2 meters what we are having in western part of the world. There is a massive lockdown between cities, meaning that you are not allowed to travel from one city to another, and you may end up being stuck in your own city, regardless in the city where you used to be at the moment when the lockdown kicked in. And at that time, if you were going to leave the city and police catches you, you were paying 26,000 tenge. But people were breaking the rules, and I said, yeah, 26,000 tenge, it's alright, 60 bucks, it's not much, so screw that, I'm traveling whatsoever. Now, police figured out, government figured out, and they raised the fine to 5 million tenge. In a rough exchange rate, that would count to 10,000 British pounds, $12,000. The reason they tightened these regulations, guys, there was a case when the locals just killed the police because they didn't want to obey. People were still traveling after this regulation kicked in. They were like, yeah, whatever, these regulations are not forced, they are just jokes. Police again just tries to get some extra cash, whatever, the government is just overreacting. So police asked for IDs of this guy who made his child and wife hide in a trunk because of the regulations. So even though he didn't give a damn thing, he still wanted to protect his family. So the police comes, opens the trunk, guy refuses, conversation starts, the temperature heats up, and then eventually they get in a fight where the guy ends up killing this policeman. Now it gets in the news, and again, I'm being skeptical here. I want to ask whether this news is true or not. If you're asking me, the government is just making it up because they just want to sound sexy. But it's just to frighten people, to keep people under control, and to give justification to the police and to the government why they gotta tighten this regulation. Eventually they got to come to the point where they tightened it so much that all the borders shut, all the planes are grounded except two major cities, Almaty and Nur-Sultan, the capital, and flights are allowed only between these two cities. Otherwise, you are not allowed to travel anywhere, not even to the nearest village. And that comes with an extra price. Families are separated. My good friend, his wife and children are in Taraz. We're talking about 200 kilometers distance apart from each other. And it's been a month. And they just simply cannot do it. There is no way that you can get a police permit. You pay the price. You were visiting friends. You were visiting relatives. Why you didn't do it together? No permission given. Full lockdown. Cities are not allowed to open the roads to other cities, and if you try to cross this regulation, you gotta pay the price. People are starving over there, guys. Kazakhstan and all the other Central Asian countries are hit by this virus massively, and we are not talking about the infected people. I'm not talking about the confirmed cases, the death cases whatsoever. I'm talking about the everyday people, the healthy people who lost their job because the companies gotta be shut. And because those companies gotta be shut, people are not allowed to work, make money, pay the bills, buy food, pay the rent whatsoever. There was a massive scandal going through online in Kazakhstan where a teacher was complaining, saying, how am I supposed to teach my pupils that Kazakhstan is a great country, that Kazakhstan is awesome and then it looks after you, when me, the teacher, is not getting paid, not getting access to internet, not getting access to material, not getting access to any privileges. A person without internet connection who devoted her life to be a teacher, to educate, is not granted internet access, but expected to use internet. Now gotta tell people that yeah, the country is going to look after you, whereas her own experience is absolutely the opposite. So that's really a bad thing, guys, and that came to the point where actually this woman's post on Instagram, whatever, just spread it around the country, flooded the news, flooded the blogs, flooded all the platforms, and of course this news got threaded all the way up to the politicians, and then they accused her with so much shit, they threatened her with so much rubbish, that eventually she needed to show in public all the achievements like degrees, certifications, education, evidences of money, evidences of good life, whatever evidence she had to prove, whether it was her own or just given for the time being. And saying that I apologize for being so rude, I apologize for throwing dirt at my own country. My country is the greatest and it looks after me. Guys, the woman was frightened. They made her kneel to the point where she publicly had to go and withdraw all her accusations, all her personal experience. It's like you have to sacrifice your own spirit. What for? Because you are accusing your country that it doesn't looks after you, whereas the numbers don't lie, whereas the evidence, the news don't lie, whereas the evidence and the experience, personal experience, do not lie. So guys, that's what's up in Kazakhstan. I don't want to talk about how the country didn't allow people to use their own personal car, yet the buses were going, yet all the public transports were still up and running, and that's where the numbers started to go up, which is still nothing compared to others. And only then they shut the public transport service. Only then they shut the moving from one city to another. Long story short, guys, Kazakhstan is just following Russia. When Russia makes a statement, okay, we are going to end the quarantine on that day, Kazakhstan makes a statement the day after or even on the same day that, okay, we are going to end the quarantine on this day, using exactly the same justifications as Russia did just before. And now Russia extended the quarantine already 3 times, so did Kazakhstan. And guess what? I'm going to talk in another episode, but spoiler alert, the other Central Asian countries, as we go further down south, just follow the northern neighbor, because the northern neighbor in this region is always richer, more developed, more connected to Mother Russia, therefore to the world. So guys, it's really nasty. I really feel for the Kazakh people. And I don't know when it's gonna end. They say that it's 11th May. They say it's not going to happen until June. Small businesses started to work already, which is amazing. But again, some businesses are granted the permission, others not. Some people are allowed to use their others not. Some people are allowed to use their cars, others not. And again, it's just cherry picking. Who knows who pays to whom basis, because there is no system, there is no logic in the permission granting system as of which company is allowed to work and which is not. Let's see what happens from the 11th of May. Fingers crossed that cities start to open up. Fingers crossed that the economy starts to open up. Therefore, more and more people starts earning money. But again, let me draw my personal opinion and experience. It's not gonna come to its end anytime soon, and Kazakh people will keep on suffering unless they are connected to up high. And this time I'm not talking about their God, Allah. Guys, that was me on Kazakhstan. Stay tuned because I'm coming back with Kyrgyzstan. Bye.